So after a grueling test match between the Springboks and the All Blacks, we set our sights towards this weekend where they have to do it again, rematching each other. Last game was split by 4. This game, it could be even closer. Perhaps could go right down to the wire at Cape Town Stadium. And in this video, we've got a quick update from the Springboks camp. Now, originally the Springboks side taking on New Zealand this weekend was going to be announced on Tuesday at midday. But that is now not the case. They have delayed their lineup. We know exactly when it will be. And in this video, I will also be letting you know why this lineup has been delayed, or at least the theories going around as to why this has taken place. But like I said, normally announcing their side on a Tuesday, the Springboks, they are a lot earlier than any other international side. Rassie normally has made his mind up pretty early on with who he wants to go with in his starting lineup and reserves, whereas this week, it's a little bit more challenging. And one of the reasons that I believe it has been delayed is due to the uncertainty around certain injuries. Now, we do know that Kurtley Arendse, after his concussion in the last game, he will not be available to play in the second test. Siya Kolisi, it seems extremely unlikely that that man is going to be playing for the Springboks throughout this Rugby Championship unless he has a similar situation to what we saw for Antoine Dupont throughout the Rugby World Cup. But for Kolisi, I just don't see any reason to risk that. He's taken a serious knock to the face from that Sam Cane tackle, which has been heavily talked about in recent times. And I'll be honest, the more that we have seen from this match over the last 1 or 2 days has shown even more so that the refereeing was below par in that first test for both sides in that regard. Like, I don't believe I've seen a game that has had so much talk about an officiating group. Even the Rugby World Cup final, I don't believe we saw the extent that we have here. It's got on a lot of people's nerves, and a lot of people want to see better from the officiating, so hopefully that is the case in the second test match. Of course, Siya Kolisi, that doesn't help his cheekbone get reattached to his face, but it means that the Springboks, they have to make that change in the number 6 jersey, and there are also a couple other little injuries, I believe, in that Springbok camp, which is why they have decided to delay their lineup announcement until Thursday rather than the Tuesday. Now, the time that they will be announcing this, it is 9 a.m. South African time on Thursday. So that will give Rassie a little bit more time to work out who is match fit and to avoid the situation that they had last week, which involved Eben Etzebeth coming into the side one day after it was initially announced. Now, there is the other side of things that you could look at here. And that is the fact that the All Blacks, they will be announcing their side on Thursday as well. And if it's anything like last week, they will announce it 3 hours or so before Rassie announces his Springbok side. So is this a part of maybe some sort of mind game? Is that maybe the next available press conference window to be able to announce the side? Or is Rassie just secretly trying to see what New Zealand are doing first for him to then either throw in a big bombshell of going with a completely different side like some people are anticipating, or will we see a very similar team with just a couple injury switches for the Springboks in the second test match? Do let me know in the comments, which way do you think Rassie will go in the matches up against Australia? Of course, the first match, they went extremely strong. In the second, they went experimental. Is that what we're going to see here in this match up against the All Blacks? Of course, the Freedom Cup also on the line. If South Africa win it, that will be their first victory of said cup for about 15 years. So the last thing you want to be doing is going with a slightly out of form or inexperienced lineup and give away that opportunity to take that Freedom Cup back for the South Africans. But some big decisions will need to be made. Now that the lineup is a little bit more delayed, I think we might have a video coming out of some sort tomorrow, either based around what we feel could be the strongest Springbok lineup in our opinion that they can go with based off form. Either way, video should be out tomorrow to replace that window that would have been the Springboks announcement. But it is very weird to not have the Springboks announced early. I will say that I'm so used to seeing that lineup and then anticipating what the other side are going to do for those next 2 days or so before it is announced. But this one, Rassie just needs that little bit more time to get the selection right and make sure that those players are 100% who he puts in the starting side. But nonetheless, I do thank you all very much for tuning in. Of course, when that Springboks lineup is announced, we will have the video come out on the channel. Same with the All Blacks, and then also a preview after they're both announced for the big game in round 4 of the Rugby Championship. But thank you all very much for tuning in. Be sure to let me know who you think Rassie will be going with in the comments down below. And I will see you all for the next one.